हेलो। 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 हेलो।
Recording in progress.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Oh, very nice. Nice meeting you, madam.
Nice meeting you too, sir.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Rakesh Ranjan sir is also there. So he will be the chairperson today. So let me just share the presentation, Zoom link to all the people. Okay, so good evening, everyone. I think the participants have started joining. Uh, in the meanwhile, so thank you, everyone, for accepting our invitation and joining this meeting. I just wanted first our chairperson and speaker to be inside the Zoom so that I can open the door for everyone to join because the Zoom is limited by only 100 members. Remaining people can join through YouTube channel, and we have been successfully doing very well through these. I think I request everyone to use a earphone. Okay, so my voice will be less loud. So I request everyone to use a Zoom means earphones so that you will be able to hear me better. And I'm sure in YouTube it will be fine. Okay. So thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. So many people are sending messages. Now, without much delay, I would like to introduce uh, our today's program. So, as all of you know, that today we are assembled here for the purpose of uh, doing the presentation on rational rational antibiotic combinations. Okay, so that's the today's topic. That is the today's topic. This is what is our today's topic, and we are having very nice and well recognized teachers and professors with us. Dr. Rakesh Ranjan sir, he is the professor and head Department of Pharmacology at GMERS Morbi. He will be our chairpersons today. and Dr. Gayatri Sharma Madam. She is the associate professor from Assam Medical College, Dibrugarh. So she will be there as the speaker today. So let me formally introduce our speakers, and then today's agenda will be a little bit different than our usual because we have some special interesting announcement also today. So Dr. Rakesh Ranjan sir will be making that. And let me introduce Dr. Rakesh sir.
Yes.
Yes, I have a PPT. Yeah. Okay. So can you see my presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It
sir.
is
Thank you
visible.
so much, sir. Thank you so much for confirmation. And let me introduce Dr. Rakesh Ranjan sir. He is a very accomplished professor and head working as professor and head at Department of Pharmacology, GMERS Medical College, Morbi, Gujarat. And I came to know about sir very, recently 1 year back, and I'm very happy about knowing you. And now we are starting a new journey too. And we started our collaboration just before MPS Con 2025, and our friendship has grown like anything. And to mark that, so you will see a very interesting, story coming from him. He has achieved a lot. He has attended and gained certification from Harvard University, trained to teach medicine, trained to teach in medicine, and again from John Hopkins, he has achieved advanced course in statistical reasoning, and then from Stanford, certificate course in statistics in medicine. So I think that is very important and highly accomplished certifications from very well-known universities. And he is the resource person in various workshops and conferences, especially related to biostatistics, pharmacovigilance, biomedical ethics, AdCom, and teaching methodology, MU-related topics, and also good clinical practice. And he worked as the member secretary at ethics committees, and editor is in the editorial board of 4 journals. And then he has published books also, so as a as an editor, I think. And then he is also guide for PGs and PhD, and he is the examiner also, and he has published good number of papers also. So with this, I would like to hand over the mic to Dr. Rakesh sir. Please take over, sir. So before that, let me just play one small video to introduce the today's important program.
Yes.
Let me just play that. Okay, sir. Now
Yeah.
the stage is yours.
Dear friends, senior veterans, and subject masters, biostatistics in our practice, what the course intends itself to be. It is for MD students or PG students who want to submit their dissertation or thesis, and they are grappling with the idea what a thesis or their dissertation is and how it is planned, how it is processed, and how it is presented. Right from the scratch, we will start from the research question, how it is generated through review of literature. Finally, it is refined by aims and objectives. And finally, a research question is framed. How data is collected, it is compiled, it is processed through biostatistics, and then discussed, and we reach a conclusion that is presentable to our university for a degree or in a conference. Just before that, I will put an analogy that we should consider our own vehicle, be it car or bike, as our prototype. If we know that how the tire is changed, or how, if it is not starting, what to do with the spark plug and other things, this mechanic work, that is good enough. But our prime concern with our car or bike is that it should be comfortable, it should be safe, it should be efficient. If we know some work of a technician or mechanic, that is good enough. If we know the engineering, how it is processed up to this level, and what is the designing of the door and the wheels and other things, that is additional. But our prime concern still remains that it should be comfortable, it should be safe ride, it should be efficient ride. That's it. Like that, in biostatistics, if we know that uh, how funds are procured and how public relation is made and how data is skillfully collected and personal relations and other things, how it is easily published, that is just like a mechanic work. If it is there, it should be additional. Our prime concern in this course is biostatistics and research methodology. And if we know that why this test was originally devised like that, and historically how the improvements were there in the test, and how new tests come into the being, and why this test is better than the other test, this is good enough. But even in our own vehicle, we are not concerned about the door design and other engineering details. We are more concerned about still the three themes, that it should be safe, it should be comfortable, it should be efficient. Like that, in this course, we will primarily concern with study design and biostatistics. If anyone has extra caliber of public dealing and fund management and data collection skills and other things, welcome. If they know mathematics enough to rationalize why this test was devised like this and why not otherwise, and what is the difference between these two tests, and why this test was evolving with time and given new names, that is good enough. But that is not mandatory. Our mandatory course is right from the generating a research question from the review of literature up to the discussion and conclusion in a presentable form to the university or to the conference. So this is mainly intended for a student who is going to do this, or a guide who is willing to do it more efficiently, more smoothly, and he wants to communicate all these things to his student in a smooth manner, without any confusion, without any problem, seamless transfusion and impartition of the knowledge. That is the aim of this course. We will do it in that way that it is palatable to the student, enlightening to the faculty members, even others who are involved in such researches like undergraduate students doing STS projects. Even they will find it interesting, and even the veterans of the subject, they will appreciate my effort. These are the extra epithets I would like to earn. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for introducing the course, and we will again discuss in the end more about what are the contents are. So now moving on to the next objective of the today's program is to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Uh, Gayatri Sharma, madam. Sir, you can go ahead doing the honors, sir. Yes, sir.
And
You
Madam,
can see the slides, sir.
it is visible. Madam is also visible. Very uh, enchanting presentation. Designation and affiliation is known as declared by Shivamurthy sir, Associate Professor, Department of Pharmacology, Assam Medical College and Hospital, Dibrugarh. Her teaching experience is more than 15 years in UG and PG pharmacology. She is member secretary IAEC and AMCS Dibrugarh, serving as editor of NEMP Seoul, that is the Mukhpatra, I think, the official biennial e-bulletin of Northeastern Medical Pharmacological Society, MPS, since 2023. She has also edited several souvenirs related to pharmacology conferences and CMEs, served as a resource person, chairperson, judge in the poster and oral paper presentation, as a quiz master in pharmacology, quiz competition in several conferences and CME. Reading out through these lines, I feel that I am reading my own biodata. It's a great opportunity to interact with such a analogical personality, but better than in presentation. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for introducing our today's speaker. So now, madam, the stage is yours. I will stop sharing, so please take over. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So I'll share my PowerPoint slides.
Yes, madam. You can share screen, press on share screen and top left corner. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So my slides are visible?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Okay, sir. So first of all, sir, I would thank Dr. Rakesh Ranjan Pathak, sir, for your kind introduction. Sir, thank you so much for those kind words. And I actually feel absolutely honored to be introduced by such an accomplished person like you. And I would also like to thank Dr. Shivamurthy, sir, and the entire team of Medical Pharmacologist Society for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this webinar. It's an immense privilege for me. And I would like to start the webinar right away. A very good evening to all present here. The topic of my today's webinar, as we all are aware of, is rational antibiotic drug combinations. Herein, I will be actually discussing those fixed dose drug combinations which are antibiotics basically, and which have been deemed to be rational and which have been approved by the government of India, as also the World Health Organization, and has been included in the essential medicine list published by the World Health Organization in 2023, and the NLEM, National List of Essential Medicines, published by the Indian government in 2022. So before I move on to the main topic, I'll just give you an overview of what I'll be discussing with you all today. Firstly, I'll be giving a brief definition of what fixed dose combinations are. I'll be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of fixed dose drug combinations. Then I'd be speaking on the criteria on the basis of which fixed dose combinations are considered to be rational. Then I'd be talking about some rational antibiotic fixed dose combinations approved by the Indian government. Then I'd be talking about some banned antibiotic FDCs as well. And lastly, I would wind up today's webinar by giving you a brief overview of the the drug regulating scenario as regards FDCs in India. So coming to the definition of fixed dose drug combinations. So from the name itself, we can make out that fixed dose drug combinations, or FDCs, are basically combination of two or more drugs in a particular fixed ratio. So now the CITSCO, or the CDSCO, or the Central Drug Standards Control Organization, has given us a very good definition of fixed dose drug combinations. It says, products containing one or more active ingredients in a single dosage form in a single fixed dose ratio used for a particular indication or indications. Fixed dose drug combinations actually constitute anti-allergic drugs, cough drugs, drugs used in cough, drugs used in asthma, drugs used in diabetes. Antibiotics are there, and we'll be discussing about them today. So fixed dose drug combinations comprise a lot of drug categories actually. And as a rule, the constituent drugs that are present in a fixed dose drug combination, which are also called active pharmaceutical ingredients, they have to have certain, they have to have certain pharmacokinetic similarities or pharmacokinetic properties. Like they need to have approximately equal plasma T-half. They should have, they need to have approximately equal apparent volume of distribution. They need to have equal peak plasma concentration at steady state. There are more to, there are more to this list, and I'll be discussing later on. Here I have just projected the main things because pharmacokinetic similarity is a must for constituent drugs or separate active drugs to be combined in a fixed dose combination and to be considered as a single drug. Now, for example, I have taken a very popular, antibiotic FDC, that is amoxicillin and clavulanic acid, which has been, this has been included both by WHO in its latest essential medicine list, as well as by CDSCO in the NLEM published in 2022. Like amoxicillin and clavulanic acid, FDC, fixed dose combination. Herein, amoxicillin has a plasma half-life of 1 to 2 hours, and clavulanic acid also has almost a similar plasma half-life of 1 to 1.5 hours, while the apparent volume of distribution of amoxicillin being 0.21 liters per kg, and that of clavulanic acid is 0.2 liters per kg. So based on these similarities, amoxicillin and clavulanic acid have been combined together to form amoxicillin clavulanic acid fixed dose combination, and the dose of amoxicillin in the combination is 500 milligram and clavulanic acid is 125 milligram, and this is administered as 1 to 2 tablets 8 hourly. Now, based on the number of constituent drugs, fixed dose combinations can be divided into 2-dose combination drugs, 3-dose combination drugs, and 4-dose combination drugs. An example of 2-dose combination drugs we have already discussed, amoxicillin with clavulanic acid. 3-dose combination drug example being isoniazid with pyrazinamide with rifampicin, often used in tuberculosis treatment. Another example another example from tuberculosis only of a fixed dose combination is an example of a 4-dose combination drug like isoniazid with pyrazinamide with rifampicin with ethambutol. Now, fixed dose combinations, actually as regards the Indian health sector, fixed dose combinations are being, their popularity is gradually growing year after year. And not only in India, in the whole world, in the global scenario only, the popularity of fixed dose drug combinations are increasing. Now, the main reason behind this increasing popularity of FDCs are two. There are two reasons, basically. I think there are two reasons. The first is that, the fixed dose combinations have proved to be very beneficial as regards, certain chronic illnesses like tuberculosis, HIV infections, then malaria, etc. Because as we all know, monotherapy in case of chronic illnesses often leads to or often predisposes to antimicrobial drug resistance. So, if we go for a combination of several drugs together as a fixed dose combination and administer to patients suffering from such illnesses, then it proves to be great beneficial. It proved to be of great benefit. There are various aspects to that as well. We'll be discussing later on. So that is one reason why fixed dose combinations are gaining in popularity. And the other is that the pharmaceutical drug companies, they are also very keen on manufacturing fixed dose combinations. Herein again, many reasons are there. Why the pharmaceutical companies, they prefer to manufacture FDCs. The first is that FDCs often escape the price control mechanism imposed by the government on other non-FDC drugs. Secondly, the manufacturing cost of FDCs is relatively much less because the logistics related to procurement and distribution of FDCs is also very less. The burden of logistics is much less, and that is why the manufacturing cost becomes less. Thirdly, the sale of FDCs is very huge, especially in India. So that brings a great profit to the pharmaceutical companies. So that is why, FDCs proved to be very lucrative to the pharmaceutical companies, which actually makes them very keen on, promoting or going for their manufacturing and marketing. But the saddest part of the story is that although the FDCs are growing in popularity in India, the Indian laws governing the regulation, or rather I should say the Indian laws which govern the approval for the manufacture and marketing of FDCs are not very stringent. And the laws are ambiguous, and discrepancies exist between the state licensing authorities and the CDSCO regarding grant of approval for marketing and manufacturing of FDCs. So that is why the rationality of fixed dose drug combinations has become a controversial and a debatable issue. Now, coming to the advantages of fixed dose combinations, the first advantage is that the fixed dose drug combinations, they actually reduce the pill burden of the patient, because the patient, instead of taking a lot of tablets separately, has the convenience of taking all in one, meaning all tablets, several tablets combined in one, and he can make up for several tablets by taking just a single tablet. So that leads to great convenience on the part of the patient. And this in turn again leads to another advantage of FDCs, that is better patient compliance. The patient adherence to medication protocol or medication or the treatment protocol is better when FDCs are prescribed to him. And this in turn actually gives us another benefit, and that is reduced propensity of development of antimicrobial drug resistance. The next advantage is synergism, meaning usually it so happens that the active pharmaceutical ingredients in a particular FDC, they usually are synergistic. And that is why after their combination, the FDC that is formed usually has greater therapeutic benefit than the therapeutic benefits imposed by the individual drugs. The next advantage is that FDCs, they have reduced side effects as compared to the individual drugs when administered alone. And another advantage that I've already spoken about is that reduced incidence or reduced propensity of development of drug resistance. And the last advantage also I have stressed upon is that simplified logistics of procurement and distribution of FDC. And this leads to reduced manufacturing cost of the FDCs. So these are the advantages of FDCs. We will now be discussing the disadvantages of fixed dose combinations. The first disadvantage is that one of the constituents might turn out to be superfluous, meaning the active pharmaceutical ingredients in a fixed dose combination, it is not necessary that all the constituents, all the ingredient drugs of a fixed dose combination are exactly indicated in a particular disease condition. Because of the existence of several irrational fixed dose combinations, it so happens that one or more of the constituent drugs proves to be unnecessary in a particular disease situation or in a particular disease condition. And when such an irrational FDC is prescribed to a patient, then the result is that there is unnecessary exposure of the patient to unrequired or undesirable side effects. And also he is also exposed to increased financial burden unnecessarily. So that those are big disadvantages of FDCs. That is why we have to be very particular while prescribing FDCs, and we have to be aware of the fact that it is not good or it is harmful to prescribe irrational fixed dose drug combinations. Next disadvantage is that dose adjustment cannot be done, meaning in a fixed dose drug combination, whenever if we intend to adjust the dose of one active pharmaceutical ingredient, we cannot do that without adjusting the dose of the other active pharmaceutical ingredient. So it so happens that those adjustments cannot be done. And this is very disadvantageous in situations like, in certain situations when patients, require dose adjustment based on their weight, their age, or prevalence of comorbid situations, comorbid conditions, etc. The next disadvantage is that fixed dose combinations are not suitable in altered hepatic and renal function. If a patient is already, he is suffering from pre-existing liver disease or pre-existing renal dysfunction, and he is being administered FDC, wherein one of the active pharmaceutical ingredient is either hepatotoxic or has renal toxicity, then actually that particular FDC cannot be given to the patient, cannot be administered to the patient, in spite of the fact that the other one or more of other active pharmaceutical ingredients in that same FDC would have been necessary for that particular disease condition of the patient. Just because one active pharmaceutical ingredient turned out to be hepatotoxic or renotoxic, the other ingredient in the FDC could not be administered to the patient. That is a major disadvantage of fixed dose combinations. The next is that adverse effects of fixed dose combinations cannot be ascertained. Like when drugs are separately administered, we tend to know the safety profile and the adverse effects of the individual drugs. But when they are combined together, then it so happens that their adverse effects become less predictable after the combination, and we cannot actually predict the safety profile of the adverse effect of the fixed dose combination. The next disadvantage is that if contraindications exist, then it becomes difficult for the fixed dose combination to be administered. That I have already dealt with. Then individual drugs present in insufficient amounts. Yes, there are two aspects to this condition. Like it might so happen that the active pharmaceutical ingredients in the fixed dose combination might not be present in sufficient amounts to exert therapeutic benefit in a particular disease condition. Another aspect to this condition might be that during manufacturing, errors might take place in the minor dose titration of the ingredient drugs in the fixed dose combination. So in such a scenario where insufficient amounts of ingredient drugs are there in the fixed dose combination, there is every chance of development of antimicrobial drug resistance because of insufficient amounts of required dosage of drugs. Next is increased price of medication. Actually, it is said that a rational fixed dose combination should have less price than the price of its individual individual ingredient drugs. But often it so happens that the price of the fixed dose combination is more than the price of the individual drugs. This again becomes a disadvantage. And this increased price of FDCs impose unnecessary financial burden and in turn reduce the quality of life of consumers. So these are the disadvantages of fixed dose combinations. Now coming to the rationality of FDCs. That is the criteria on which an FDC is considered to be rational. Firstly, medical rationale behind the combination, meaning sufficient evidence-based medical justification or scientific justification should be there behind combining two individual drugs into a single FDC. Without proper evidence-based justification, two drugs should not be combined, and if at all they are combined without proper scientific evidence, then they cannot be considered to be rational. The next criteria is that each constituent of the FDC need to be an approved drug separately, or they need to be either in the NLEM, as in case of India, or in case or globally, it has to be in the WHO essential list of medicines. The next criteria is that dose of each constituent drug should be appropriate for the intended use. As we had discussed in the disadvantages of FDCs, that insufficient amounts of, or rather insufficient dose of the drugs, individual drugs might be present in the FDC, and that was a disadvantage. So for a FDC to be rational, the constituent drugs should be present in appropriate doses. The next criteria is that greater efficacy of combination over constituents, meaning the constituents the efficacy of the FDC should be more than the efficacy of the individual constituent drugs. The next criteria is that the cost of the FDC should be less than the cost of the constituent drugs. Also, the dose of when two individual drugs are combined together to form an FDC, then their doses should be reduced as compared to when they are administered alone. Also, the adverse effects of individual drugs after combining in a FDC should be reduced as compared to when they're administered alone for the FDC to be deemed as rational. So these are the criteria for the rationality. We have moved to the list. The next criteria is compatible pharmacokinetic parameters of constituents. Like we have discussed already earlier, that the pharmacokinetic parameters like apparent volume of distribution, plasma half-life, all these have to be compatible as regards the constituent drugs of the FDC. Then no unfavorable pharmacokinetic interaction should occur between the individual drug components. Also, the mechanism of actions of the constituent drugs should be different. The pharmacokinetic parameters should be compatible or approximately compatible or similar, but the mechanism of actions of the constituent drugs should be different, or otherwise there might be therapeutic failure or enhanced toxicity of the FDC. And also one of the constituents of the FDC should act as a booster for it to be rational. And the last criteria for rationality of FDC is that it should contribute to reduction in the development of antimicrobial resistance. Now, herein I would like to infer that, the FDCs are like, it's like a double-edged sword. That's because on one side, they irrational FDCs, they contribute to increased development of antimicrobial resistance, while on the other side, a rational FDC contributes to reduction in the antimicrobial resistance development. So that is why we should be very careful while prescribing and while dealing with fixed dose combinations. Now coming to the list of rational antibiotic fixed dose combinations, as I have told earlier, I have prepared this list after going through the 23rd WHO model list of essential medicines published in 2023. And the National NLEM, that is National List of Essential Medicines, published in September 2022. So the drugs or the antibiotic FDCs which have been approved are firstly amoxicillin and clavulanic acid. The oral preparation, tablet preparation, as well as powder for injection has been approved for amoxicillin and clavulanic acid. Next is piperacillin and tazobactam combination, approved as powder for injection. Next is sulfamethoxazole plus trimethoprim combination, approved as injection, liquid, oral liquid, and tablet formulations. Next, sulfamethoxazole plus trimethoprim plus isoniazid plus pyridoxine hydrochloride. Next is ticarcillin plus clavulanate. Next, imipenem with cilastatin. Next is cephalexin with clavulanic acid. Meropenem with vaborbactam. Meropenem with sodium carbonate and sulbactam. Ceftazidime with avibactam. Ceftolozane and tazobactam combination. Amoxicillin with sulbactam. sulfadoxine with pyrimethamine while used only in combination with artesunate in malarial cases. Then ceftriaxone with tazobactam, ceftazidime with tazobactam, cefoperazone plus tazobactam, cefepime plus tazobactam, ceftaroline plus tazobactam, and lastly, aztreonam plus avibactam. All these are approved and rational antibiotic fixed dose combinations, which we can very much prescribe to patients. Now coming to irrational fixed dose combinations. The first example that I have cited is ampicillin or amoxicillin with cloxacillin. This FDC is considered irrational because ampicillin is effective against gram-negative organism, gram-negative bacteria, while cloxacillin is effective against staphylococcal infections. So that is why mixed gram-negative and gram-positive infection, since they do not coexist or they rarely coexist, that is why ampicillin-cloxacillin combination or amoxicillin-cloxacillin combination is not considered to be rational. Next, irrational FDC is mucolytic, a combination of mucolytic agent and antibacterial. Here also several trials have proved that antibacterial therapy does not require a mucolytic agent. And that is why the combination is not considered to be rational. Antibacterial with antiamoebic. Now this is a combination, or this is a FDC which is very much prevalent in our market, in the Indian markets, in the local Indian markets, and this combination is very much prescribed by clinicians as well. Indiscriminate prescription occurs, I should say. And this is why this combination, like for example, ofloxacin, onidazole, this combination is why it is considered to be irrational. This is because a patient does not suffer from both types of dysenteries together, meaning both types. By both types, I mean that a patient does not suffer from bacterial dysentery as well as amoebic dysentery at the same time. So there is no need of an antibacterial and an antiamoebic together while prescribing for while prescribing in a dysentery patient. And this is actually an example of a situation of a FDC where one of the constituent is superfluous actually. And it adds to increased cost, increased adverse effects, and increased propensity of drug resistance. Next is tetracycline and metronidazole. This again is an irrational fixed dose combination. Here also one of the constituent is unnecessary and the patient may need only one drug. So the key point is correct diagnosis. Actually, just like I said a few moments back, that there is indiscriminate prescription of ofloxacin and onidazole or antibacterial and antiamoebic in the Indian market. What I think the main reason behind this indiscriminate prescription is that there is imprecision in diagnosis, and secondly, there is lack of good laboratory facilities, or rather fast laboratory facilities, and this has led the clinicians to actually prescribe certain irrational fixed dose combinations. So that is why we should lay stress on correct diagnosis of the disease so that we can stick to prescription of only rational FDCs. Now here is a list of banned antibiotic FDCs, and this list has been updated till April 2025. And herein I have included those fixed dose antibiotic fixed dose combinations which have been banned by the CDSCO in April 2025. Another list was published by the CDSCO in August last year, that is 2024, wherein the CDSCO had banned 156 drugs, and of the 156 drugs, several drugs were antibiotic FDCs. 156 FDCs, I mean, okay, the CDSCO had actually banned 156 FDCs in August 2024, and of the 156, several were antibiotic FDCs, and I have incorporated all those banned antibiotic FDCs in this list. Plus, this list also contains those banned antibiotic FDCs in the years previous to 2024. So it's a big list, and I'll be reading out the entire list to you. The first is cefixime plus ofloxacin plus lactic acid bacillus, then meropenem plus avibactam. Next is cefixime plus azithromycin plus lactic acid bacillus. Next is rifaximin plus metronidazole, norfloxacin with metronidazole, ofloxacin, ornidazole and resicadotril combination, meropenem with EDTA for injection, neomycin plus ketoconazole plus iodochlorhydroxyquinoline plus tolnaftate plus clobetasol cream base, azithromycin plus adapalene, clindamycin with zinc, silver sulfadiazine plus chlorhexidine plus allantoin plus aloe vera with vitamin E, tetracycline with colistin, ofloxacin plus beclomethasone plus lignocaine, norfloxacin with tinidazole with beta-cyclodextrin, prepared as an eye ointment, doxycycline with ornidazole plus bromelain plus lactobacillus rhamnosus plus lactobacillus reuteri, erythromycin plus lactic acid bacillus, doxycycline plus beta-cyclodextrin plus serratiopeptidase. Till here, these were the banned antibiotic FDCs, which have been incorporated in the list published in April 2025 and August 2024. From here on, these are the banned antibiotic FDCs, which were banned by the CDSCO before 2024. So they include antidiarrheal formulations for pediatric use with diphenoxylate, loperamide, atropine, hyoscyamin, antidiarrheals with electrolytes, nalidixic acid with any antiamoebic including metronidazole, loperamide with furazolidone, combicate of serratiopeptidase with diclofenac and doxycycline, azithromycin plus cefixime, amoxicillin plus dicloxacillin, azithromycin with levofloxacin, cefixime plus linezolid, amoxicillin plus cefixime plus clavulanic acid, ofloxacin, there's a typing error, I'm sorry for that, ofloxacin, nitrous oxide, cefodoxime proxetil plus levofloxacin, combicate of azithromycin, secnidazole, fluconazole, levofloxacin with ornidazole and tocopherol acetate, azithromycin with ofloxacin, amoxicillin plus tinidazole, doxycycline plus serratiopeptidase, cefixime with levofloxacin, ofloxacin, metronidazole and zinc combination, combicate of azithromycin, fluconazole and ornidazole tablets, amoxicillin plus dicloxacillin plus serratiopeptidase, azithromycin plus cefodoxime, ofloxacin, lignocaine, clotrimazole and beclomethasone combination, cefuroxime plus linezolid, ofloxacin plus ornidazole plus zinc, metronidazole, norfloxacin, amoxicillin plus bromhexine, ciprofloxacin plus neomycin plus fluticasone plus clotrimazole. This is a long list. I'm sure you all have become, it has become monotonous for you all, but please bear with me. Metronidazole with tetracycline. Next is ofloxacin plus ornidazole suspension, ofloxacin plus ornidazole injection, norfloxacin plus metronidazole plus zinc, gemifloxacin with ambroxol, levofloxacin plus bromhexine, azithromycin plus ambroxol, neomycin with doxycycline, gentamicin plus dexamethasone plus chloramphenicol plus tobramycin plus ofloxacin, cephalexin plus neomycin plus prednisolone, tetracyclines with vitamin C, penicillins plus sulfonamides, and lastly, streptomycin plus penicillin in parenteral preparations. So we have come to the end of the list, but I'm very sure that a knowledge of this list is very much essential for us pharmacologists, as well as also the clinicians, because this would help us to stop writing or prescribing banned antibiotic FDCs to patients, even though many banned antibiotic FDCs are prevalent in the market. Now, coming to the end of today's webinar, rather I should say coming to the end of my presentation, I'll be talking briefly about the drug regulating scenario regarding FDCs in India. Now, we all know that the Drugs Controller General of India is the highest post of the CDSCO, that is the Central Drug Standards Control Organization, under the aegis of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And the CDSCO is the main drug monitoring body in India. The rules and, or rather I should say, laws and acts governing the manufacture and marketing of fixed dose combinations in India are specified in the section 122E of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act of 1945, wherein they have dealt elaborately regarding the preclinical and clinical trials of FDCs. Also, section 6 of Schedule Y of Drugs and Cosmetics Act of 1945, they speak on the rationality and in the irrationality of FDCs. Also, the section 6, they put forward certain specifications which are required in the application, or rather they put forward certain formats in which the applications for approval of fixed dose combinations should be forwarded to the CDSCO. But the sad story is that in spite of the the presence of good amount of laws and acts governing FDC regulation in India, there has been a lot of there has been discrepancies actually in the monitoring system and the approval system of FDCs, both by the CDSCO as well as by state licensing authorities. Now, mainly what happens is that the CDSCO time and again imposes ban on several irrational fixed dose formulations, but it so happens that the state licensing authorities fail to somehow comply with the CDSCO orders, and by defying the orders of the central drug monitoring body, they secretly grant manufacturing and marketing approval to the manufacturing companies. Also, another thing that actually happens is that the manufacturing, just because the CDSCO, just because, of the ban that is being imposed by the CDSCO on certain FDC marketing, the drug manufacturing agencies or the drug manufacturing companies, they suffer from huge losses. So to prevent that, what they do is they challenge the ban order by the government in the court, in the Supreme Court or in the respective high courts of the states, and they try to either bring a stay order against that government ban, or they try to quash the government ban order, and they are usually successful in doing it. And this leads to, rampant prevalence or rampant prescription of irrational FDCs in the Indian health scenario, or Indian health sector, I should say. Now, India has among the highest rates of antibiotic consumption, with FDCs forming a significant portion of the lot. Yes, FDCs a lot of FDCs are being produced by the Indian pharmaceutical companies. For example, between the year 2007 to 2012, 118 antibiotic FDCs were manufactured by the Indian pharmaceutical companies. However, only 43 of the 118 that were manufactured had CDSCO approval. But in spite of this, it is not that only 43 of the approved, of the CDSCO approved FDCs were prescribed by the clinicians or were marketed by the pharmaceutical companies in the markets. It was not that, or the scenario was not like that. In fact, of the 118 FDCs, those FDCs which were Irrational, or which were not approved by CDSCO, were also available in the Indian market for buying and selling purpose. And plus, the clinicians also had no knowledge that, they were lack of, or rather I should say they were ignorant of the banning of these FDCs, and they were continuing to prescribe the irrational FDCs to the patients. The scenario, and this is not the scenario, this scenario was not there only in 2007 or 2012, but this scenario is prevalent even now, and it is happening even now. So that is why we need to take steps to actually prevent this, to prevent the marketing and prevent the prescription of irrational FDCs in the Indian health sector. For this, certain suggestions have been put forward by me. The first is that manpower of CDSCO as well as drug controlling authority of the states should be increased so that stringent supervision and monitoring of the regulatory systems or the implementation of the laws governing the FDCs is maintained. Secondly, there should be harmony in the licensing procedures of central and state licensing authority. Just as I said a few minutes before, that certain state licensing authorities of certain states, they don't abide by the CDSCO order, and they go on, giving approval to drug manufacturing companies for irrational FDCs as well, or banned FDCs as well. Then there should be transparency and accountability of the regulatory authorities as regards FDCs marketing and grant of approval for marketing and manufacturing. Next is that standard treatment guidelines should be adopted by clinicians for prescribing antibiotic fixed dose combinations, or in general, all fixed dose combinations. ADR reporting should be made mandatory, and pharmacovigilance should be strictly implemented so that adverse drug effects related to FDCs are brought to the forefront immediately. And last but not the least, CMEs or continuous medical education programs should be conducted for the government and private practitioners as well as medical students, so that they remain continuously updated with the banned FDCs or irrational FDCs, and they don't prescribe these FDCs to the patients. So the take-home message is, in order to curtail the alarming rise of antimicrobial resistance, the 5 R's of medication should be applied or should be kept in mind at the time of prescribing antibiotic fixed dose combination to the patients. And those R's are right time, right route, right drug, right dose, and the right patient. So thank you so much for your patient listening. And I sincerely hope that the problem that we are currently facing with irrational FDCs would be removed, and rational FDCs would take us a long way in improving the health of the public health in the Indian health sector. Thank you so much.
Rakesh sir, Dr. Rakesh Ranjan sir, are you there? Hello? Rakesh Ranjan sir? Are you there, sir? Okay. So can you hear me, madam?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much, madam. It was a wonderful presentation. We really enjoyed, especially, listing all the different types of, FDCs that are available in the market, and the kind of, like that is sometimes, I will, people may think, should we read all these? I think we should read, because
Yes.
while going through it, you can see that, anticholinergics are combined
Yes,
with, antibiotics, which is, it is against the principles of pharmacology itself. Actually, if you go to cholinergic chapter, it is mentioned very clearly that anticholinergic should not be combined with any drugs. And similarly, the opioid drugs also should not be combined with any other drugs.
Yes.
And similarly, we had like you explained very well nicely about the rationale for methods to bring the rational compounds together, especially most importantly complementing the pharmacological actions and sequential actions, or reducing the pill burden. But pill burden can be the secondary reason. Most importantly, off-life and volume of distribution, and some of the important concepts, pharmacological concepts you explained very nicely. And also regulatory issues you brought out very nicely. So that was really a very important one. Because like, even today, if you go to market and you can pick up, pharmaca, especially in a pharmacy, you will find anything and everything sold, like any vegetables or any other, plastics. Similar to that, drugs are also sold. So I feel very bad about that we are unable to control that. But only thing is that what is the best way of controlling? One is educating the people and the prescribers, and also the pharmacy graduates and drug inspectors and the pharmacists. They should have the most important concern that what are we giving to our society. Because should we keep this medicine in my shop or not? It should not be that it is my right. I have got the license and I can sell anything. That attitude should be stopped. Most importantly, attitude that I am an Indian. I want to give good things to my Indians. So if we feel that way, and it should come from the within the person, that from his own soul and mind, he should decide that these kind of products are not kept in the shop itself. And not only that, if they find any kind of that kind of manufacturer, it should be reported to the regulatory agencies also. So and so person, so and so company has come forward with such a combination, which is, I believe that it is not approved by the CDSCO, and it should be taken into the cognition, and that company should be taken into the task. Such kind of behavior, like that is the self-control and self-discipline, which is more important than anyone, because when we think that I want to give something good to my family, my person, my friend, my daughter, my son, then why not my people, my countrymen, and my neighbors, my society. So once we have that kind of feeling, and I'm sure many things can be controlled, and malpractice can be brought to control. So this is something which I feel, and everyone should take a message from this. So to continue with our discussion, madam, before getting to our discussion, I just want to again, introduce about our course actually, because this is something which I would like to share the screen and then talk about our course, so that all our audience who joined later, they should be able to. Okay, so this is just to introduce our course. Like I would like to, gain the attention of our esteemed friends here, that like MPS society, we have come up with a very nice course that is on biostatistics. So let me just introduce this course so that if you are interested in learning about this course, learning from this course, and it's a great opportunity for all of you to take this opportunity to join this course and enjoy the concepts about biostatistics, medical biostatistics. And this course will be administered by Dr. Rakesh Ranjan. He is the professor and head at Department of Pharmacology, GMERS. So GMERS Medical College, Gujarat, Morbi. And this course is mainly made for PG students of medical, paramedical, biosciences, and those who are in the process of submission of thesis or topics to their universities, and undergraduate students who are interested in joining STS projects and conducting their research activities. Students aspiring for medical admissions abroad because USMLE or any other important courses. So if they are interested to join this, maybe they will also be benefited. And those who are looking at industry jobs or biosciences jobs, especially in universities or in industry also, like where data reporting and project related activities are done, and project guides also, and postgraduate students also can join this course. And what are the salient features of this? It is based on the it's not a pure theory classes. It will have a lot of examples, and Dr. Rakesh Ranjan is an expert who got a lot of experience in this, and he will explain step by step. Even app-based the results he will explain, and then for some personal queries will be resolved by him, and complete coverage of the important aspects related to thesis and dissertation are covered, and it covers the most importantly the postgraduate students requirements and their guides requirement also. And we will have a separate WhatsApp group where revisions and future reference materials will be provided, and there will be tests at every end of the every class. So MCQ questions will be there, and there will be formative tests and also summative tests will be there, and at the end there will be again examination, and once you pass, then we will be able to certify you, and the certificate will be issued by the Medical Pharmacology Society. And the course is launched just now. Registrations are open, and the registrations will end on 10th of September, and course will start from 14th September. So most of the classes will be held on convenient Sundays, and it will be recorded. All the classes will be recorded, and it will be shared to the registered participants only. Okay, and once they attend the classes, so that link will be clear. Okay, and the MCQs links will be provided, and they can work out all those and then submit their project work or questions, and then after that they can complete the classes. Okay, so as and when the classes are conducted, MCQ tests will be given, examples will be shared, and queries will be resolved by Dr. Rakesh Ranjan. And then the course fee will be 4,000 for MPS members, the academic members, or student members, or industry members, or in India, international, everyone, all MPS members will have the fee of 44,000 only, only 4,000. And then MPS non-member students will have to pay 6,000, and MPS non-member academicians will pay 8,000. And then MPS non-members working in industry, again they will pay 10,000, and international participants also are invited, so they can also join. So they will have to pay $300. So this is the kind of what are the topics and all listed here. So you can in the brochure you can go through it, And there will be 12 classes will be there, and once a weekly and continuous discussion will be done by Dr. Rakesh Ranjan sir. Okay, as we introduced him in the beginning itself, so he is a very accomplished person with a certificate from Harvard University, Stanford University, and also John Hopkins University. And he is also an editor and editorial board member in various journals. And he's been one of the faculty for various topics. He is an invited speaker also. And I will be supporting this venture as an administrator, a course administrator, and also I'll be involved. I'll be there with you guys for supporting the conduct of this program or examination and certification. In addition, I can also have some query resolution, whatever possible from my side. And I also conducted various statistical courses. But the lead will be for this course. Lead will be Dr. Rakesh, and I will be only supporting faculty for this. Okay, so with this, I would like to go back to the webinar again. So thank you so much for listening to me patiently. And now let me just take up the questions that are raised. Madam, Dr. Gayatri, madam,
Yes,
there
sir.
is one question related to this, whether the FDCs can be considered as new drugs.
Yes, sir, definitely. FDCs are considered as new drugs, but then there are two criteria, sir. Firstly, an already approved FDC, which is already prevalent in the market, if that FDC, if the constituents of that FDC is reformulated in a new ratio for certain new indications or certain, new route of administration or new dosage form, then that already prevalent existing approved FDC becomes a new drug. And secondly, if two separately approved drugs are combined together for the first time in a fixed dose ratio, then that again becomes a new drug. That is deemed as a new drug, sir.
Yes, madam.
These are the two
Thank
criteria.
you so much for explaining that like any drug, first time introduced into India, that is a new drug. And if you are
Yes.
combining that drug with any other drug, that becomes another new drug. And
Yes.
after spending 4 years, that combined drug in India, it becomes a old drug.
Yes.
Okay. And if you are changing any salt also, then it becomes a new drug again.
New drug, yes.
Okay. So, and if you are combining this FDC with another third drug, again that becomes a new drug.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you so much, madam. And
My pleasure, sir.
Here, one more question. Ma'am, can you explain how drug manufacturer, should happen in India? How manufacture should happen in India, or how the clinical trials should be done, and how is it happening now? So basically she is asking about how the manufacture practices are happening now and how the clinical trial processes are happening now. So you would like to take up, madam?
Yes, but then, sir, could you please repeat the question? I was not.
Question is how the drug manufacturers are taking I would say maybe to summarize, how the manufacturer releasing the drug into the market. So with the clinical trial or without clinical trial?
I think I'm not very sure, sir, about this, I should admit. But then I think the manufacturers are taking the drugs or releasing the drugs into the market with the clinical trials. That's because based on the, when they have to apply for approval in the CITSCO, in the CDSCO, they have to provide all details regarding preclinical studies and clinical studies, as also bioequivalence, bioavailability studies, and everything in specified formats to the CDSCO. And after going through all those applications, then the CDSCO actually approves the drug for marketing, or they ban the drug, or they remove the, they don't release it for marketing. They don't approve it for marketing. But it so happens, sir, that sometimes in spite of like I think, sir, that the drug manufacturing agencies, they actually tie up, because whatever knowledge I could gather after going through different articles, that the drug manufacturing agencies, they tie up with the state licensing authorities, regional state licensing authorities, and they don't comply with the CDSCO order. And the state licensing authorities actually, sir, they are also authorized to issue separate approval. They can grant approval for manufacture and marketing of the drugs, FDCs. So the companies, drug companies, they actually contact the state licensing authorities, and the state licensing authorities actually go for granting the approval for marketing by defying or without letting the CDSCO know about it. That way, actually, sir, the irrational drugs are prevalent. And another is that sometimes it so happens, like this April, the CDSCO had taken out a gazette notification wherein they had removed 35 FDCs in this April, 2025 April. Sir, those FDCs were already prevalent in the market and they had removed them. So that is again I don't think that comes under this question. Because she was asking about whether the FDCs, they undergo clinical trials.
I think that you answered very well that they are going to state licensing authority, and as far as my knowledge goes, madam, actually the local that the state licensing authority, they have only capability, means they are enabled to give only manufacturing licenses, madam.
Yes,
Not the
okay.
marketing licenses. Marketing licenses are always should come from the DCGI.
CDSCO.
But in India, what happens? So they get one license and they claim everything. So
Okay.
that is like a malpractice actually, and it should not happen actually.
Yes.
So sometimes like people do overclaim, and then especially, and one more problem in India is that we don't have a proper regular website where it tells about which are the drugs that are approved, which are the drugs that are not approved. Okay, so proper consolidated statement is not there, and it is not regularly updated also. So
Yes,
that
yes.
suppose suppose I assume that I am not a doctor and I am a patient, and if I go to a pharmacy, if I ask something, they will give. Then if I go, I don't know where to search whether this product that is handed over by the pharmacist, whether it is approved or not. How will I search, madam? Is there any, what is the indication to which this drug is approved? That also I am not able to search. Because if you go to UK or, in USA or any other places, they will release a patient leaflet, or we can call it as, specific, product specific information. And it will also mention to which indication, what is the dose that is approved, and in which type of medicine is, which strength and which type of, whether it is tablet, capsule, what is the formulation that is approved, everything is written in that. And for every formulation, whether it is tablets, suppose assume that same drug is available in 2 or 3 formats. Then in that case, there will be separate SPC, summary of product characteristics, are made available for every formulation. And what are the studies that are done, like in outside the countries, if someone is releasing any generic product, and they will have to conduct a bioavailability, bioequivalence trials, and assure that what is the product quality and everything, and they will get a written approval that this product is approved for marketing, and they will display that also publicly. It is displayed also. All approvals are displayed. So such kind of transparent system only will bring discipline in the Indian pharmaceutical market. But that kind of discipline is not there. That open information systems are not developed, and it is a high time that I urge DCGI takes up it very seriously. CDSCO takes up it very seriously. And because now India is literate, it is no more a illiterate country. So
Yes.
India is a literate country and lot of graduates are there. So many graduates apply even for becoming a security guard also. So such kind of education systems are built in already, and highly educated people are there, and they are still able to decide whether what is good for them, what is not good for them. And mobile use is very rampant, and every transaction, especially even 5 rupees, 1 rupee, also happening through digital system. So our people are capable of understanding what is good, what is bad. So at least this is high time, that they should bring in all these transparent, drug information system, uh, open for the public so that they understand which drug is approved, which drug is not approved. So what do you say, madam? Do you agree
Yes,
with
sir.
this?
Very true, sir. You're right,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Very
Thank you
true.
so much, madam. So now there is one more question. How can culture-driven therapy or de-escalation help in ensuring a rational antibiotic therapy, madam?
So again, could you please repeat?
So he's Mr. Dr. Raja Chakravarti is asking
Okay, sir.
how culture sensitivity system can be help will help in increasing the dose or reducing the dose of rational means reducing the dose of antibiotics. That's what he's saying.
Antibiotics or fixed dose combination antibiotics. I mean, sir,
Yeah.
he's asking only about antibiotics, sir.
Antibiotics from any antibiotic.
Yes, sir, because yes, culture and sensitivity reporting is very required, sir, for any drug, because nowadays the antibiotic stewardship program concept has come up. So, sir, that is why culture and sensitivity needs to be done, sir, for so. But then de-escalating and escalating the dose of antibiotics, I don't think culture and sensitivity helps much in that aspect. But then while choosing the right antibiotics, culture and sensitivity report does help. But for de-escalation and escalation of doses, I'm not sure, sir, but I don't think culture and sensitivity reports would help.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much. And
Pleasure.
one more question is there any great role that can be played by clinical pharmacologists to ensure rational antibiotic use?
Yes, actually, clinical pharmacologists, actually the main inputs are given by clinical pharmacologists. The CDSCO, actually what the CDSCO does is it forwards all the applications for which are given by the pharmaceutical companies to the CDSCO for grant of approval of manufacturing and marketing of FDCs. Those applications are actually forwarded by the CDSCO to a group of pharmacologists, and yes, definitely some other scientists are there, but pharmacologists or clinical pharmacologists play a pivotal role in actually reading or going through the applications and categorizing them as fit to be approved or not fit to be approved, sir.
Thank you so much, madam. I think we have come to the end of all the question and answers. And so thank you everyone for joining this, and looking forward to see you all, whoever is interested in the certificate course in medical biostatistics that will start in September 14th onwards. And so please do join the course fee, everything. I'll be sharing this brochure soon. And with this, I would like to again, present the certificates to our chairpersons and the speaker. So the first, I would like to thank Dr. Gayatri Madam for joining this and accepting our invitation and joining today's presentation. Thank you so much, Madam, for the wonderful, session, and it was very nice, and we really enjoyed, and I'm sure all the participants they all enjoyed listening to you, and understanding about the methodology of antibiotic rational antibiotic combination, and also what are the irrationals that are available. So I think it went very well. Thank you so much.
It was
And
a
at the
pleasure, sir.
same time, I would like to thank Dr. Rakesh sir also. Rakesh sir, are you there? Rakesh sir?
So he is there, but he is in mute state, sir.
Yeah, sir, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir. I am
Yes,
available.
sir.
I am here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir. So thank you so much for joining us as the chairperson for today's presentation. And you would like to say a few words, sir, before closing?
Madam, along with you, have raised some very vital questions that there is a multi-layer system of permission, and that is the biggest problem. If the government plans something, court comes in between. If court gives injunction, there is some circumlocutory arguments against it, and politics decides something else. So popular market, government decisions, judiciary, and undue influences of capitalism all are playing side by side. This is the main
Yes,
problem. There is no single decisive factor.
true,
In
sir.
Mahabharata, there is a very good saying that what is the confusion? Why it is confused? And they say that nobody is in agreement, and all people are having their own opinions. Dharma tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano ena gatasa pantha. Everything is there in confusion. Better you follow the veterans what they say, and here the two veterans are there. I will follow them. Thank you.
Pleasure, sir. It's a pleasure, sir. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much for
much,
your kind.
sir. And all the participants, they will also receive the certificate. So I will share the portals. I'll activate the portals and then I'll share the portals so that you can download, give the feedback and download the certificate. So with this, I think we have come to the end of the presentation. So thank you everyone
Thank you, sir.
for joining, and looking forward to see you all in our next presentation.
Thank
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you so much, Pathak,
Yes,
sir. Thank you
yes,
so much, Siva Murthy, sir.
yes. Thank you so much, madam. So I'm not able to uh, minimize it. Okay, so I think
Yes, sir.
I am able to. Okay, so with this, I would like to, end with a thank you note, and it was very nice. And Mahalakshmi festival is coming. Do you celebrate, madam? Vara
Yes,
Mahalakshmi festival?
yes, sir. We do celebrate, sir.
Yeah, next week, I think on 8th, festival is coming. And
Okay, sir.
the Ganesha festival is also coming very soon, in the next few weeks. And
Yes.
I wish everyone a very, very happy Varamahalakshmi festival. And may God Lakshmi wish you all or bless you all with a lot of good assets and good wishes to everyone. And looking forward again to see you all. Please do join MPS Society as a life member and also support us. And in near future, that is next year, most probably May or June, we will be conducting MPS Con 2026. And I suggest everyone to be, start getting ready with their papers and presentations for joining our next conference at Bangalore. That is at CDSI, Dr. Chandramanayan's Academicians of Medical Education and Research, Bangalore. That's where I work. I look forward to see you all in person next year. But at the same time, so today we have come to the end of the session. So have a nice festival season, and we'll again see you with another interesting topic. Very nice. I would like to tell you all that we will be having next session very soon, which will be very interesting. And most of the MD pharmacology teachers would like to join that session, I'm sure. And we will announce very soon. Please look forward for the announcement. and also join our society. Join the MPS, that is the certificate course in medical statistics course. So Dr. Rakesh Ranjan sir is a very nice presenter, especially statistics. As all of you know, that statistics is a difficult subject, but he will make it more joyful and also jovial also. So he presented very nice topic on this during our MPS Con 2025 at Guwahati, and we will definitely have a nice course, and looking forward to certify all the interested participants on certificate course in medical biostatistics. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.